Yep. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday I explained about features of React.js. So I will give one summary outline. So we discussed about what are the features of React.js. I hope everyone understood yesterday features now. Right. So first important feature we learned that React is what? Component based. So what is use of being component based? Component based allows to reuse, easy reusability, easy extensibility, easy maintenance and everything we can achieve by using component based. Second important feature we learned that it uses JSX. JSX as a language. It is easy to integrate with HTML. It uses less DOM methods and you can easily interact with the HTML elements, which we are going to see. We are going to learn about that how to deal. Next, important, we discussed that it uses virtual DOM. I already explained yesterday because you will learn in HTML what is DOM. So virtual DOM will make the application faster than normal. Means a virtual DOM is nothing but it is a copy of actual DOM in memory, and it is going to update the virtual DOM so that the user feels the interaction fast, but actually in the background it updates the actual DOM later. Another one more feature we learned, what is it? Modular allows you to use only what is needed. It will not import everything, it will import what is needed so that it is fast, lightweight, fast applications because of this. These are all key features. When you will learn more features once you start learning React, because version wise features are there. And when we learn about different versions, we will discuss about them. What are features in every version? Even now, if we discuss about them, you will not get a clarity on that. So basic features, these four are important. One more you remembered, data binding, na? One way binding. One way binding is more secured way of data binding, but these features are all not satisfying every time. Some occasions they are good, some occasions they are not great, but we have alternate techniques for that. So in the last session, we discussed all these points. Now today, we will see how to start using React, practically working with React, how React is used in building user interfaces. Step by step, we will see. And what I show in class, you have to try them in your laptops or PCs later in lab. You have to practice this because topic wise, we will give you exercises. You need to try them, right? So before starting practical, one more concept you need to know. What is that is, you need to understand some issues with React. Today we will see one more point, basic, what are the issues with React. Actually, issues means what are the concerns for a developer for React. Means every technology have some concerns. Every technology is not great in all points. We have some concerns. What are the issues with React? Let's see. First important problem as a developer with React is, so React it is not designed. It is not designed for what we are using. That is one basic problem. So React JS, Angular, these are the technologies we are using everywhere, but they are not actually designed for us. For example, Angular is one framework designed by Google for its internal apps. That means Google community built Angular technology for building their apps. And our developers found it good, interesting for web applications, and we started using it. Similarly, React is a library designed by Meta community. It is designed by Meta community for their internal apps. But we are interested in that. We asked them to make it open source. They made it open source and we are using. That means the technologies that you are using are actually not built for you. Then obviously what happens is, if they are not built for you and you are using them, some gaps will come. That means certain requirements they can't satisfy. Then what React people say that, okay, if anything is missing and not possible in React, we will provide a third party library, use it. That means we need to depend on lot of third party libraries. You will be surprised, like even to design a form, we need a third party library. Even to design validation in form, we need a third party library. To create a navigation from one place to another, we need a third party library. To maintain state, we need some third party library. That means we need to depend on lot of third parties. But it is not a problem. Why? Because even we have to use different third parties, React can easily synchronize with any technology. That means Java, .NET, PHP, Python, any technology app can easily integrate with React. So even we have to depend on lot of third parties, that is not an issue. So it is a concern, but not a big problem. That means what we are saying, that React don't have everything you need. It depends on various third party libraries. So if it is not designed for what we are using, so what is the problem? Lot of gaps. We have lot of gaps. We have lot of problems. We have issues. You keep an habit of making a note. You don't write, huh? Huh? You just hear, huh? Audible, huh? So keep an habit of making a note. Programs, I will give you a soft copy in a classroom, right? Rest of every content you need to keep note, right? You can become a good software engineer or developer only when you write, not when you listen. Understood? Huh? Keep an habit of writing. I will randomly ask questions from anybody. Okay. And some I will not post in classroom. Right. So I will post programs and notes, everything. But certain important things you need to keep note. That is a good habit of learning technology. Huh? So sitting idle, just listening will not make much sense. You keep an habit of writing the point. Okay. Right. So these two issues you understood. One is, it is not designed for our requirement. If it is not designed for our requirement, what will happen? Lot of gaps. Because lot of gaps, so it requires It requires lot of third party libraries. It requires lot of third party libraries. You need lot of third party libraries. So that is one important. So one of the main concern with React JS is this point. Another problem is, one major issue with React is pace of development is a concern for React developers. Pace of development is a concern for React developers because currently the latest version of React is 19. By the time you finish React, there will be 20. That means by the time you finish learning one version, another version is ready. It is very fast. So developers need to adapt these new things regularly. That means lifelong you are a learner. What do you think? Today you attended React finish? No. Till you retire from software industry, you have to keep on learning. Because every new version, some changes. One of the big problem and concern is, if they make some changes and add new things, it's good. But sometimes they completely redesign library. That is big headache, because several features are completely newly constructed. We have that problem in React 19. Actually, React 19 is the latest version of what? React. Now, what is problem in this React 19? I will tell you later more detailedly. React 19 is completely built with a new library called React Fiber. They use a library called React Fiber. So later we will go into that version. So pace of development is a concern, because by the time developer learns about a new concept, another new concept is ready. We need to keep exploring this concern. And many times problem is, I told you third parties na. The problem with third party, which third party a company uses, we don't know. So you learned some third parties in class. Some companies will exactly use them. Some companies have their own. Then who will teach you? Even you Google, you will not get any solution for them. The company have their own third parties, libraries built for them. They are not available globally. You will not even get a help for them in Google or any AI tool. Chat GPT also cannot help you because that is their own library. That means their manuals have to teach you. They will give you tutorials, manuals about that library. You have to explore and learn by yourself. That is one big problem. In the modern technologies like Angular and React, this is very much concern, right? So what is the meaning of this pace of development is, so lot of new things are keep on adding. You need to keep in touch. Regularly, you need to explore and know about new things. I hope understood. There are so many more problems. There were so many problems, but they are now rectified. Means on internet, you will see people talking about lot of other issues, but they are not issues anymore. Because in React 19 and latest versions, we have solutions for those issues. When you see React, sometimes you will see online somebody saying that React is not SEO friendly, right? How come in the current generation, if any website is not SEO friendly, who will use it? Websites need to be SEO friendly, na? Right? Netflix is using React, Amazon is using React, Instagram is using React, Facebook is using React. They're all built using React. That means that is not a concern anymore. Earlier it was concerned, but now latest features have solved so many problems, so we no need to know about them. So initially, if anyone asks what are issues, then these are the major issues. So the main issue is lot of integration of third parties. Understood now? Right. So you need to just know the concept of these 2 points. That's enough. Once you know the features and React, now today, one more we will see how to start using React in our project. Practically how to implement. There are two techniques. One is you already have a web application. In your web application, you can use React to make your user interface better. Understood? Or you can build a new application completely new with React. There are two choices. You can use React in existing application or you can build a separate React application. But we know that React cannot build a separate app. It needs some help of framework. Na? I told you that. So we need help of some framework. So we will see both techniques. How to use React in an existing project and how to build a separate application. We will see both concepts. Let's see how to do that. So first, for that, what you have to do is you need to set up environment for React. You need to set up environment for React. So the steps that I show here, you need to follow them. So how do we set up environment for React is first point, you have to download and install Node.js on your PC. This is the first thing you have to do. I hope if you already learned HTML, CSS, Bootstrap and all, you might have already installed Node.js. If not, you need to install Node.js. Node.js, why we need to install Node.js? Because Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment which is used for building web apps, which is used for building servers, which is used for building command line tools, and it is used for building server side scripts. So Node.js is a software. It is a JavaScript runtime which is used for building servers, building web applications, building command line tools, and writing server side scripts. So currently we have to use Node.js for building web apps. React.js is used for building web application, single page application I told you now. So it is used for building web apps. So you need compulsory help of which one? Node.js. So first I will tell you why you need Node.js. If you don't have idea about it, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. So developers use Node.js for building web applications, servers, command line tools, and scripts, server scripts. These all are done. Not only that, Node.js provides a package manager called npm. You know, every software developer computer must have a package manager. Package manager is a tool. Through this tool, you can install any library, you can uninstall any library, you can update any library easily. There are so many package managers. So we have different package managers like Yarn, like Bower, like Composer, like Ruby Gems. So we have NuGet, npm. These are all different package managers. Different developers with different technologies use different package managers. And if you install Node.js in your computer, automatically you will have a package manager called what? npm. And this is very important for future. You cannot use React. There is no chance, there is no alternative without Node.js. Node.js is compulsory. You must have Node.js on your device. And if anybody is using an older version of Node.js, make sure that your Node version is 18 and above. Current Node version is approximately 22 or 24. So if, because many people who are already working in companies, they attend our React batches online and all. They are already working on that environment, and sometimes they may have an old version of Node.js. Make sure that you have installed the latest version of Node.js, otherwise React 19 cannot work. You have to set up the Node. And this is the official website of Node.js. This is the official website of Node.js, nodejs.org. This is the official website of Node.js. And you can visit this website. You can download and install Node.js from this website. Node.js official website is this. You can visit here and download. It is cross-platform. It is available for every operating system. So when you open this website, what will happen? It will show you what is the purpose. Node.js is a free open source JavaScript runtime environment that let developers to create servers, web applications, command line tools, and script. Currently, our job is web apps. So our job is building web apps. For that, we are using Node.js. You can just click on Get Node.js. This website will identify which Node.js is good for your PC according to your operating system. It will give a downloadable option. Directly you can download. I'm using Mac, so it is giving Mac OS download. If you are using Windows, directly Windows will come. That means this website is intelligent enough to pick up which OS you are using, and it will give you suitable version. You have to just download and run the package. Next, finish. Right? There is no other thing to select or choose between. Just you have to follow the steps. Once you install Node.js on your PC, you test whether it is working or not. Test from terminal. So if you are using Mac, you can use a terminal, or if you are using Windows, you can use a command prompt. So you have to test node and flag v and npm and flag v. npm is package manager and node is your Node.js. So you need to check the version, whether it is properly installed or not, and which version is currently installed. And if it is any version below 18, obviously now you are doing means latest will come. If it is below 18, you don't need to do anything, just download the latest and install. It will replace the old one, right? So you see in my computer, I will open terminal. This is my terminal in my device. In the terminal, I am running here node flag v. It will get me the node version 24 I am using, and npm flag v, that is the package manager 11. Package manager version is above 10 is good, and node version above 18 is good. Understood? Right. So package manager version. So this is node version 18 plus required and npm 10 plus required. So This is the first thing you have to do. So you have to download and install Node.js on your device. Okay, next. What about editor? Which editor you are using? Visual Studio Code. So you can continue with the same editor. So what is the editor? So download and install VS Code editor. You already have na? Yeah. Visual Studio Code editor you install. But few settings I will tell you, you have to do that. You need to install Visual Studio Code editor, and you know the purpose of editors. There are so many editors. Editor will provide an IDE. So these are different editors we can use. Actually, these are different editors we can use. You can see different editors. These are all editors. These are different editors available. You can use any of these editors for React.js. There are so many editors available. And currently we are using this editor, Visual Studio Code. So you can use this editor or any another editor, doesn't matter. Majority we prefer using this Visual Studio Code editor. You download and install. I hope you already have them. But what you do is, after you install editor, what you need to do is install following extensions for Visual Studio Code. You have to install some extensions for Visual Studio Code. What are the extensions you need for Visual Studio Code? One is live server. Another one is live preview. Another one, IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML. VS Code icons, and Microsoft Copilot. We are going to use Microsoft Copilot as a AI tool for our React. We will learn AI with React. And at the end, we will see that AI integration. And when we see AI, we need help of Copilot. Copilot is an AI tool for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, anywhere you can use it. It is inbuilt available with Visual Studio Code, but you have to enable it. And for Copilot, you have to create a new account on Git. You have GitHub account. Create a new account on GitHub and link to Copilot. You have to do that. I will show one point there. Because this Copilot will not directly work. When you install this Copilot, it will ask to link your Git account. You have to link your Git account. You have to log in with your Git account, then it will link. So live server, live preview, IntelliSense, and VS Code icons, and Copilot. One more important is ESLint. This extension is required. You know that ESLint is a JavaScript language analysis tool. If any developer is using JavaScript in his project, JavaScript rules and JavaScript standards are defined by this ESLint. Right? Suppose you are a Java developer or a .NET or PHP, Python, some developer. How you know your rules of language? There are so many language analysis tools. For example, for Java, .NET like languages, JavaScript like languages, you can go with a tool called PMD. You know PMD, this is a code analyzer. This is a code analyzer, PMD. So PMD, Sonar, these are all code analyzing tools we use in real-time projects. Remember, when you learn some language and technology, you can't put this knowledge directly in real-time project. Because while teaching you a technology, some shortcuts or some tricks, a trainer may teach you, but in reality, they are not recommended. You have to know that. For example, when you learn database, everybody learn that select star from table. But in real world projects, we should never use star in queries, if you know. But when you start database, you will learn with that. But you know, in real world projects, we should never use star in queries. These are some rules and standards we need to follow. And those rules are defined by language analysis tool. You can see here, it will show you rule reference, Java rules, JavaScript rules. JavaScript related rules are defined by ESLint. How to use it, I will tell you while working with JavaScript. Okay. So these are all the important plugins you need in your Visual Studio Code. So what you have to do, open your Visual Studio Code. This is Visual Studio Code. I will show you in this Visual Studio Code. Initially, it looks like this. Am I right? Go to extensions button and here search for the extensions I have given. All extensions one by one, search and add them. Right? What are the extensions I showed you? Live server, live preview. You can see select and install. Already live server is installed in my device. So you have to just install all the extensions. Actually, why you need these? One small point I will tell. Web applications are always tested on server. So you need a server compulsory. Another, before you run on server, you can see the preview of your design. If you have a live preview, if you install live preview without running side by side, you can see. While writing the code itself, you can see how it is coming. That is done by using live preview. IntelliSense for CSS class names means when you are writing CSS, it will show you suggestions so that it will be easy for you, because remembering lot of CSS classes is difficult. This will help you in that. IntelliSense for CSS class name. When you create a project, all files look similar. If you install VS Code icons, every file have a different icon. All HTML files one icon, CSS files another icon, like that. It's easy for developer to recognize files. Copilot, I told you AI tool, na? ESLint is analysis tool. You search all these one by one and you install them. So you can search this Copilot. So this is Copilot. You have to install this Copilot. But very important, when you try to enable Copilot, it will ask you login with Git account. You have to connect your Git account. You enter your Git ID and password. That's important. One more thing you have to do. Actually, what you need to do is you need to enable emit from VS Code settings. You have to enable emit from VS Code settings. That is another important. I hope you people know, because when you are working with HTML, you might have used it. Emmet is a templating tool, scaffolders it is. Emmet is a scaffolding tool. You have to use that emmet. Scaffolding is nothing but, you see, go to settings of Visual Studio Code. There is a settings button at the bottom. Go to settings option. In the settings, you search for emmet. You will see emmet options will come. In the emmet options, you make sure that this option is selected. Show possible emit abbreviations. That checkbox must be selected. Sometimes it may be deselected. Make sure that it is selected. What is advantage of this emit is show abbreviations. You need to select this option. Which setting you have to select? Show abbreviations. So you have to select that show abbreviations. This is used for scaffolding templates. Generally, scaffolding templates are done by using this. Actually, you see, suppose we are having some project here. Roughly, I will show you. Suppose you are designing a HTML page. If you want to design a HTML page, you know, when I press an exclamation, automatically a template emit will come. You see emit, and when you press tab, automatically the structure is created. These type of templates are available through emit. So it is mandatory that you should enable emit to make it fast. Okay, right. So that is generally used in Visual Studio Code. So you need to enable that emit also in your device. So these are enough initially for using a simple web application. Now, 3 points. I hope everyone understood. You install Node.js, install Visual Studio Code, and add all these plugins. Okay. Once it is ready, now next what we are going to do is we will create a new web application. So what is the first step we are learning is how to use React in an existing application. That means we have already our traditional web app. In that we can use React. So we will see how to use a React environment inside existing web application. So first, how to create a traditional web application. In HTML, while learning HTML and JavaScript, you might have created that environment. If not, you have to do that. Every web application have certain infrastructure you have to do. You know, every project have 3 environments: development environment, quality, and production. In development environment, we build the application. In quality environment, we test. And in production environment, we make it live. A project will not look same everywhere. That means any technology, your Java, .NET, PHP, or React, Angular, any technology, a project will not look same in every environment. In development environment, you will have some files. In production environment, you will have different set of files, but the functionality will be same. I hope you know, if you have learned CSS, you learned CSS now. Suppose some name.css. Do you know this file cannot be used in production? This is only for development. When our project is going live on cloud, so you should not use the CSS files. We have to use name.min.css, minified files, even JavaScript also. So when you learn CSS JavaScript, you might have learned this, that CSS files are only for development, and for production, we need production files minified. JavaScript also .js files are only for development. For production, we have to use min.js, right? So we are going to learn how to create a web application for development environment. Development environment. For development environment, how to build one app. Later, we will see production environment, how development and production environment looks like. So let's see how to build a web app for development environment. For that, first what you have to do is create a new folder for application. you have to create a new folder for application on your PC. Anywhere C drive, D drive, E drive if you are using Windows, or Linux, Mac if you are using any folder system you can use. So you create a new folder for your application. For example, if it is your Windows, you can use C drive, D drive, and you create a simple web app, some folder name. You can give any name for the folder. So we will use traditionally which one, some web app. Actually, in my Mac device, I am having general file system. In my documents, I will create a new folder. I will create here a new folder and I will name the folder as web app. And there is a simple folder called web app in my documents. If it is Windows, you can use any CD drive location. So you create a simple folder for your project. Next, what you have to do, open project folder in Visual Studio Code. You have to open folder in Visual Studio Code. So let's open the folder in Visual Studio Code. We have open, it is in my documents. And what is the folder? Web app. That is the folder. Okay. Now you can see this is the folder I am having. This is my project environment. Now, this is just empty folder. We need to set up like a project. We need to set up like a project in development environment. So what you have to do is, after doing this, open terminal in project location and run the command. You have to run the command in your project location, npm init and flag y, npm init y. So you have to run this command in your project, npm init y. What this command is going to do is it generates package.json file. And if you know already HTML and all, so package.json is a manifest file. It is a manifest file. People call it as metadata. Every project must have a file called package.json. It is mandatory that every web application will have package.json. All the project related metadata is present in this file. Project related metadata means what is your project name, what is its version, what libraries you are using in project, which version libraries you are using in project, how to run project, how to debug test project. All such commands are mentioned in this file. In future, when you are working in a web application, every information is present in this file, that is package.json. And generally what we do is open the project terminal. That means this is our project location. You go to terminal menu, and select terminal. You will see that a terminal will open. Terminal is nothing but in your Windows, it is command prompt. It will open the terminal menu like this. Here we have to run one command. What is it? npm init and y. It is initializing a project and it will generate a file called package.json. Automatically it will generate a file package.json. How to use this file you are going to learn in future. As of now, just leave it, because Later you will learn how to add the commands, how our React application runs. Everything depends on this package JSON. You need to set up everything inside this package JSON. So this file is automatically generated. You can see. I will just roughly show you what is present in that file, but not necessary. So it is having all the project related metadata. You will able to understand this in later stage. And you will come here to add some commands also later. Because in React applications, we run project, debug, test by using commands, and those commands are configured in this file. So package JSON comprises of project related metadata, right? We need to add this package JSON. I hope everyone is clear, right? Next important, what you have to do is add following files and folders into project. You need to add some files and folders into project. So what are the files and folders you need to add into project is one, you need a file called readme.md. So it is a help document. It is a help document by developer for developers. So every project must have this file. So every project must have a readme document. Readme is nothing but it is a developer's document. I told you currently we are working in development environment. Development environment means all developers will be working in this environment. So how other developers know what you are doing in this project? All that information is kept in this file. What you designed, where you designed, how you designed, which command you used, because your content need to be continued by other developers. In a team-based environment, developers related complete catalog is this file, readme.md. So what you have to do, go to the location you have, you can see here, we are having a new file. Am I right? Click that new file and add the file readme.md. That is the file. What to add in that file later you will see. Actually here we add help documentation. This is actually help document developed by developers. It is just like a catalog given to other developer so that he can understand what your project is doing, where which information you kept, everything is present in this file. Okay. Next, another important file you need in a project is .git ignore. You need another file .git ignore. It is used for Git configuration. Git configuration related file is .git ignore. We will link our project with Git. Later I will show you, and we will make available on cloud so that in a team-based environment, we can build the application and work with the application. And when you are connecting your project to Git, some files we need to ignore. We should not publish on live. And such configuration is defined inside this file. What is that file? Git ignore. So go to project and add another file, that is .git ignore. That is another file. Remember, in every project you are going to see these files. All these days you may not know about these files. That is unfortunate if you don't know. Why? Because you can't call yourself as web developer without knowing these file names. Why they are present? Because there is no chance. Web designing means applications will have this. Right? All these days, if you are not aware of these, that's unfortunate that you don't know. but actually you should know, because in real world projects, all web application will have these files. You have to work with them, right? So generally in React and Angular and other projects, when you create a project, all these are automatically generated. I will show you. But currently we are learning how to manually create a project. So for that, we need to set up all these one by one. Okay. Now, next important in the project, you need another one is we need a public folder. Public is actually folder, and it is used for static resources like, so HTML, images, documents, all these are kept inside this public folder. In a project, all static resources are kept in a folder called public. So make sure that your project is having a public folder. HTML pages, images, documents, presentations, videos, icons, all these need to be kept inside this public folder. We need another folder, SRC. This SRC folder, it is used for dynamic resources. It is used for dynamic resources like CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, JSX, TSX, all these. SAS, all these type of files are kept in a folder called SRC. So public is for static and SRC is for dynamic. So all the dynamic resources are kept in this location, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript and all. So what you do, go to your project location and add the folder. One folder is what? Public. And don't select this folder, because when you select and add anything, it will add into that folder. You click outside and use another folder, what? SRs. Now this is your project related basic. One more is missing. You know that every project will start with index.html. Right. You need to add another file. What is it? Index.html. This is the startup page. That means you need one more file, index.html. Index.html, it is the startup page for project. Every project starts with index.html. So this is a traditional web application. Now, what I will do here is, in this, I will simply put some HTML page. I will just put a HTML page. This is my web application. Something like this we created. It's a simple web application. But remember, we are not using React in this page. We will use React in another page. That means in a project. So see, many times what people tell you is that React is used for building single page applications. But not that. React is a library. You can use React to build a good user interface for any page also. It's not that you have to use React only for single page. React, already you saw the official definition of React I showed you. It is used for building good UI. They are not saying that you have to build a single page application. They are saying that build good UI. So in a traditional web application also, a good user interface is built by using React. So I'm not using React in this page. let it be normal traditional HTML page. I will add another page in public folder. In public folder, I will add a page called home.html. Remember, index must be at main location and others must be in public. In the home HTML here, what I want to do is here I want to use React. So React app. I want to use React in this page. Now how user will come from index page to that page? I will put a link, go to React page. Am I right? And we can put an href na. So it is in which folder? Public home.html. Now we will start this application. How to start? You know, there is a go live at the bottom na, or you can simply right click and you can open with live server. Then you can see it starts with the live server like this. Am I right? Now, this is your traditional web application. In this traditional application, we have two pages. One page is normal. In another page, here I want to use React. So how to use React in a page? Let's see how to set up React. That means how React is used in a web page. What are the basic requirements? Let's see one simple point here. So to use React in a page, you have to do one more thing here. What? Add a new HTML page into public folder. So that is home.html. So we will add React into this folder, into that page. So adding and enabling React in HTML page. How? I will show you those steps. So how we can add and enable React in a HTML page, we will see that. So our project is having two pages. In one page, we want to use React. So first point, React is a JavaScript library. To run React in a HTML page, make sure that JavaScript is properly running in that page. And you learnt already in HTML. In HTML, you learned that how to verify JavaScript is working in browser or not. How to tell the user that in your browser JavaScript is not working. Please enable. In HTML, you have an element called no script. No script is a HTML element. You have to keep this in every page where you are using JavaScript. All these days you are not doing, it's okay. But now you have to do for real world. In real world project, wherever JavaScript is used in a HTML page, that page must have an element called no script. Compulsory. Because if browser disables JavaScript, any JavaScript function will not work. And people will complain on our website that your website is not working. But actually problem is in their browser, JavaScript is blocked. That we have to tell them that your page, your browser is not enabling JavaScript, please enable. Because these days you see websites will tell you, please enable cookies. Right? Why they have to tell you? Because if you don't enable cookies, operations like sign in will not work. You know, login will not work without cookies. If you know, right? So that is the reason they ask you, please enable cookies, accept cookies. Similarly, in no script, we are writing a message, please enable JavaScript on your browser. This message we will give. Remember, this message is not displayed because currently my browser is working with JavaScript. It is enabled with JavaScript. Let's do one thing. Let's go to Edge settings. This is my browser settings. If it is Chrome, you can open Chrome settings. If it is Edge settings. In Edge settings, I will search for JavaScript. You see JavaScript settings will come. And you can see currently JavaScript permissions. It is allowed now. I will block JavaScript in my browser. If I block JavaScript in my browser, when I refresh, you can see that it shows the message. Please enable JavaScript in your browser. If JavaScript is disabled in a browser, your React, Angular, JavaScript, nothing will work. Nothing will work. So you have to tell the user that JavaScript need to be enabled. So if I enable JavaScript in my browser, then this message will not display. It will not show the message. So first important point, if you are trying to use React in a HTML page, what you have to do, add no script. Add no script element into page. This is the first thing you have to do. It is used to verify JavaScript in browser. So what you have to do in the body, you just add a no script and put a message, please enable JavaScript. This message you have to keep. That is the first thing you have to do. So in the HTML page where you want to use React, make sure that you have added this element. That is no script element is compulsory. Right. Next important is after defining this no script, we already discussed that React is not going to work with actual DOM. It is going to work with virtual DOM. So what we do is we construct a virtual DOM in memory and we will push that into actual DOM. That means in actual DOM, there must be one element ready to accept the updates coming from virtual DOM. So what you have to do is add a parent element as root element to render virtual DOM into actual DOM. So what you have to do is you can create a simple container like div. Div is better. Why? Because div can handle any type of data. Na? It is a non-semantic element. So use a div and keep ID as some root. Without ID also it's fine. Without ID, how you can access? By using query selector. Na? So better keep an ID so that you can easily refer it. And ID, you can give any ID because it is used as root element for rendering all the virtual DOM. We will traditionally use the name as root. You can keep any name, doesn't matter. So any ID. So what we have to do is go to page. In the page, we will put a div with an ID. What is that ID? Root. Okay. This is the HTML page basic. Now we want to use React in this page. To use React in any HTML page, we need 3 libraries. So here very important, to use React in any HTML page, you need following libraries. What are the libraries you need is, one is React, another one is React DOM, React DOM. Another one is Babel. These three libraries are required. These three libraries are required to use React in our page. Right. Yeah, people at the last people there left side, you last people. Hello, you man, you last. Can you see na? You white shirt. Beside you, the person, this person. You can stand, please. Everyone can see him. Right. Tell me what is Babel? I told you na just now. I just now told you na. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just now I told you na what is Babel. Tell me what is it. Don't know? Then listen carefully, class. I will come back to you with another question. Huh? Sit. I will catch randomly. Because why we ask to write? Because if you don't write, you will give work to your mouth. Understood? That's why we ask. Your hand is working, your mouth will not be working. That's why we ask you to write. Understand? So what are these three libraries? React DOM and Babel is nothing but actually React it is it is the core library required to use React in project. That is the core library required to use React in project. This library is DOM. It is used to create virtual DOM because React completely depends on virtual DOM. Na? Yes. And Babel, it is a JavaScript compiler. It is a JavaScript compiler. You know that JavaScript uses an interpreter in browser. You know, na? In every browser, how JavaScript is translated? In browser, JavaScript is translated using interpreter. But outside browser, if JavaScript have to translate, it needs a compiler. There are so many, JavaScript is both compiled and interpreted language. It is JIT compiled, it is AOT compiled also. So what is the compiler used for JavaScript is Babel. You can use Node compiler. You have a Google Chrome compiler called V8. V8 is the name of a compiler for JavaScript. Babel is a compiler for JavaScript, and we have Node compiler also. So without this compiler, you cannot use JavaScript. So that is the reason you need this library. So three libraries are required, but question is how to get them, where we will get them. You know libraries we can get from CDN. CDN means directly from their servers, or you can install them. I will show you both techniques, how to install and how to use CDN. But remember, in latest React 19, they removed CDN. They are not providing any CDN links. Up to 18, they have CDN. 19 onwards, you have to install and use. I will show you both techniques because current latest is 19, but companies are still using 18. So 18 and 19 are the most commonly used versions and asked version for React people. So see here, what we have to do now is let's go here. Means where you will get this. You have to visit the website legacy.reactjs.org. That means we have two options. So one note I will give, you can get libraries from CDN, Content Delivery Network. So we have legacy.react.js. You can visit this website. In that website, you will find docs. In the docs, you will find CDN. And what you have to do is you have to copy production links. You know, production development links. You have two types of links. Production links will be there, development links will be there. How you will know it is development or production? Min.js means it is production. So without min.js means they are development. Min means compressed files. So for development, it is always recommended to use the uncompressed files. So what you have to do is, see, visit this website, React.js, and in this website, you see there is a docs. Na? Click on docs. You will see CDN links is there. Na? Go to CDN links. In the CDN links, these are development. The first one is related to development. Second one are production. I will copy the first one. First set is enough. You copy that and go to your page and paste them. You put them in the head section. That is enough. Understood? Now you have two library. One is React. Another one is React DOM. These two libraries are there. But we need one more Babel library. Yeah? So what you have to do is Babel library's officially website is Babel.js. This is their official website. So you have to visit another one. This is another website. Babeljs.io. You have to visit the website. Remember, go to always official website, because sometimes what people do, they Google or they will ask ChatGPT, give me CDN links, it will give, but they may not work properly because they don't give official links. Sometimes they give the links which are outdated. That's the reason better always go to the official website and pick from there. Okay. Now you open Babel.js, you see in Babel.js also there is docs. Na? Yeah, in the docs option, you will see there is an presets. In presets, so we have not presets, integration packages. In integration packages, you will find standalone. You need this standalone library. Remember, Babel is a very huge compiler for Angular and React. It has lot of things for web. So in that we need just only one link, that is standalone link. So what you have to do, go to Babel. In the Babel, what you have to do, docs. In docs, what you need to do, integration packages. Integration packages, in that we have to select Babel /standalone, and you have to copy the link. So from here you have to copy. If you miss and copy some other link, it will not work. Exactly, you have to get here. You have to get this Babel standalone. So what you need to do is, you need to go into the website. In the standalone, you see the link is there. Na? Copy the script and paste in your page. And remember, you already learned CSS files don't have any order, but scripts have order. Compulsory. First file must be React, second file must be React DOM, third file must be Babel. Any misplacement in order, it will not work. because JavaScript runs in an execution order, declaration, assignment order is there na. So that JavaScript will misplace, if you misplace the files, it cannot find declarations, assignments, problem will come. So all files must be in the same order. Okay, now your script is ready. We will write our script. Now this script should be compiled by Babel na? So we have to use the type as text/Babel. Otherwise generally what happens, the script is compiled by browser translator. Browser have an interpreter. Default script type is text/JavaScript. It will not work. You have to tell that it should be compiled by Babel. Now here what we have to do is create a virtual DOM and render into actual DOM. Understood? How to create a virtual DOM is, we have a method called React DOM dot render. React DOM dot render. Where to render, what to render, you have to tell. Where to render, I want to render in root. How to access the root? Document dot get element by id root. Okay, comma, what to render into the root? Welcome to, I'll just put a message. Welcome to React.js. Understood? Now you can see that in the output, it is going to display that here. It is going to display that here, it will show. But here still some more points are there. What are those? Here you mentioned the React DOM dot render, but problem is React have several versions. What are the versions? So React have several versions, React 17, 18 and 19. In every version they made some changes. First you should know which version package you are adding. Based on that we need to set up. I will show all the syntaxes. That means I will show all the syntaxes. Actually, when you are displaying here, it is a different methods are there. The old method is very old method. The very old method is React DOM dot what? Render. And this is used up to React 17. Up to React 17. We have to put the message. What is it? Welcome to React. And after that, we have to tell where to render. What is it? Get element by ID. Where? Root. We have to render into that root location. That means it will show that. But this is an outdated technique. This is an outdated technique. This is not recommended, but it is still working. Huh? You can see it is still working. What to render we have to tell. And it is still working, but you see right click and inspect. If you go to inspect in the console, you will find a warning saying that it is React render is no longer supported in 18. You are using an old technique. Right? But still several projects are using this technique. So we have to just know about it. What is the new technique from 18 and 19 they are doing? So from 18 and 19, this is not the technique. They have another technique. What you have to do is, first we have to create a root. How to create a root is React DOM dot create root. That is a method. Which element is used as root? Element name. Document dot get element by ID root. After that, into the root, we have to render. Render, suppose welcome to React, suppose 1918x I am giving. And you can see that this is the new technique. And now there is no error. Na? There is no error, only warning is there. Warning is nothing but it is saying that you are using a compiler inside browser. Be careful. Because compilers in browser may be blocked sometimes by browsers. That is just a warning it is showing. But this is the latest technique. That means now we are using React, but just we displayed some welcome message. We have to define all the content step by step. Means we have to learn how to create a virtual DOM and add that virtual DOM into actual DOM. So here one more thing I will tell you. After you linked those files, what you have to do, one last concept is, so what you have to do is add a script container. How to add a script container? Script type is text slash what? Babel. And old technique I will tell. Up to React 17, we have to do like this. React DOM dot render. So your message and the document get element by ID root. That is the method. So React 18 and 19. In React 18 and 19, we have to create a root. So by using React DOM dot create root. And root, and after creating that root, yeah, so into the root we have to render. That is what we have to do. I hope everyone understood this, huh? Now in the next level, we will take one real-time example and we will try to build that with this technique. That means we will take one Netflix like design and we will try to create using React. Then you will get a clarity how React is used for building real world apps. Okay, na? Right. This is enough for today. First, you have to try up to this. Right. If you can try up to this, in the next session, we are going to see how to build one real world environment using this React. I will show one more process also. Currently, we are using CDN. Na? Without CDN, how to use, I will show you. And remember, all this process, this entire notes, I will share in a WhatsApp community. You people joined the community, huh? No? So for online people, online admin has shared that community, and offline people, I already shared one more time. You check. You can join this WhatsApp community. Here we will upload the notes. Okay. And tomorrow we don't have session. Tomorrow is holiday on Christmas Eve. Again, our session will be on Friday. Okay. Yeah. We'll continue in tomorrow's session. Yeah. First girls leave, then boys will leave.